has raised issues of identity. Nowhere more so than in some of our schools. Those responsible for education have the task of addressing the issues arising out of this conflict. Our Muslim children address these issues with the help of the discipline of prayer and fasting, which encourages them to be good-mannered and to be tolerant with others.
In an Islamic country, children learn a lot about Islam from their surroundings. But here in Britain, how do Muslim children learn about and practice their faith in both Muslim and non-Muslim schools? Once a week, Ellen Robson drives to Hackney in East London to teach Muslim assembly at the Princess May Junior School.
During the assembly, we talk about Islam in very general terms. We talk a little bit about the 5 pillars of Islam, one of which is Ramadan and fasting.
What happens
We
at
talk
the end
about
of
what it
Ramadan?
means to be Muslim.
At the very end of Ramadan, what happens?
I have to take the children quite slowly because very many of them, although they are Muslim and come from Muslim families, have had little direct Islamic instruction. But they're all very enthusiastic and very, very pleased to have the opportunity to speak to a Muslim who is not part of the school.
So we stop eating and drinking at sunrise, at dawn, as the sun comes up. And when do we start eating? When do we start eating?
Night.
At the night.
Night time.
At night time. At sunset, when the sun goes down.
I think that it is important that all the children that we have in this school have their cultural identities recognised. The Muslim children, although they form about half the children in the school, form only one of the identities. And once a week we recognise the differences between the various groups of children. And for that we have a Muslim, a Christian, a Hindu and a Sikh assembly. The other 4 days a week they meet as one group of children, and at that moment they are taught at various times the various religions that are represented within the school.
At that school there are children from many, many, many different Muslim countries. Turkey, Morocco, Nigeria, British Muslims. For Muslim children who are living in a British society, they're obviously going to hear a little about Christianity, but they should not forget that they are Muslim.
She teaches us lots of things like first how many days in Ramadan, what you have to do in Ramadan, fasting in Ramadan, that kind of things.
We're told that Ramadan is a good thing to do and it's very good to know about that kind of stuff.
We are actually told a lot about the Quran. This tells us about the things that that are in the Quran, and she tells us about Allah and stuff like that.
For the children, it's not essential that they fast. In fact, if they're going to suffer in any way, it's better that they do not fast until they're old enough to observe the fasting. But it's important that they understand the spirit of Ramadan, which is not one of persecution or self-denial. It's a month of celebration.
Ramadan is when you fast, but I don't fast because my mom says that I'm too small to fast. And when I grow up a bit, I'll be able to fast. But I can't fast yet.
Last year I fasted 2 weeks of them, and one day I was making a cup of tea for myself fell for my mum, and I forgot I was fasting, and I just drank the tea, and then after I just went, oops, and I just spit it all out.
When Ramadan finishes, they have meals, like they decorate have a party. That's when I like it. Celebrated.
The best part of Ramadan is when at night you start to stuff yourself.
In North London stands the Islamia Primary School. Unlike Princess May, Islamia is completely Muslim. How did this school begin?
I think it began with the concern of some parents, concern about their loved ones, the children. And they were not happy when they were coming home from the local schools, and then they thought we should try to do something, and with the efforts and by the grace of Allah, they managed to get this building, and they started as a playgroup first. Then it became a nursery school, and from there it developed into a primary school. In addition to the national curriculum, which was the purpose of Islamia school, we teach them Quran, which is our code, which is the basis of our faith, and then Arabic language so that they can understand the Quran.
إن المسلمين والمسلمات والمؤمنين والمؤمنات والقانتين والقانتات والصادقين والصادقات والصابرين.
Here at the Islamic school, they teach the basis. Why do you fast? Why do you fast? When do you fast? You don't have to fast in other months, because other months are just normal, like January and all that. But in Ramadan's a special month.
They teach us Ramadan can clean your heart, and it makes you feel more towards the people, the poor people, when you break your fast at sunset. It makes you feel more for the poor people, so that you can give more money to the poor people, and to make you feel what it feels like to be poor. And as well, it takes all your bad sins away.
Obviously, a child of 7 years old doesn't have the intellectual capacity to understand fully what the nature of revelation or the nature of self-denial is. Most adults don't. But they can feel that this month is special, that this month is not like any other month.
Ramadan, ya Ramadan, ya mawsim al-Quran, aqbalta bil-bushra, wal-khayr wal-ghufran. Ramadan, ya Ramadan, ya mawsim al-Quran, aqbalta bil-bushra, wal-khayr wal-ghufran. يا إخوتي هيا صوموا معي رمضان هيا بنا نعمل للواحد الديان رمضان 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 يا رمضان.
For the very young, the infants, that's the 6 to 7 year olds in our school, we sort of make it very clear that Ramadan is a command from Allah. We can't get away from it because it is specifically one of His commands. So not to follow it would be to disobey Him. So that is very clear in their minds right from the beginning.
Ramadan starts at home. So they get up early in the morning, they have their breakfast. And they come and the mommy tells them, okay, you are fasting today, but take your lunch with you as well. So they do. They bring their lunch boxes and they tell us we are fasting till 10 o'clock. And then they are hungry or thirsty, they can have a little drink. So they are learning by just simple atmosphere, everybody else. But some of them which are a bit stronger, they are fasting for the whole day.
Right now, I've been fasting for 6.5 days. And I'm going to try to do the whole of Ramadan today. I mean the whole of Ramadan in this year. I think I'll be able to fast for the whole of Ramadan, I think, when I'm 10 or 11, maybe. If I carry on fasting, I think this will be the first time I've fasted the whole of Ramadan.
Normally, I can fast the whole day, but yeah, I can fast the whole day. but it's a little hard through bits and pieces of it.
Islamic education is not only religious education, it's the total uh, uh, bringing up of the personality of a person, physical, spiritual, material, all of them, and in the light of faith in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
The King Fahad Academy in West London comprises boys and girls, primary and senior schools. A major patron of the academy is the government of Saudi Arabia. Although only 25% of the teachers are Muslim, most of the students are followers of Islam.
We teach here the British program, which is the GCSE, the A-level, side by side with the IB. We also teach Arabic and Islamic studies, and we use the Saudi syllabus. We use the Saudi textbooks.
His Excellency Sheikh Nasir Al-Manqur is the Saudi Arabian ambassador to Britain and chairman of the King Fahad's Board of Governors.
We opened this King Fahad Academy by the order of His Majesty King Fahad himself. I hope that the parents in this building are happy with our program, our staff. I hope that King Fahad Academy will have a good relationship with their students even after the graduation.
Apart from its normal English curricula and the teaching of the Arabic language, one of the most important functions of the King Fahd Academy is to teach students about the pillars of Islam, one of which is the observance of the fast during the month of Ramadan. And Ramadan itself teaches Muslim honesty, faithfulness. Therefore, the King Fahd Academy tried to instill in the individual a sense of honesty and discourage hypocrisy.
One of the ways the Academy celebrates Ramadan is with a communal breakfast once during the month. After breaking their fast with the traditional dates in the dining hall, students visit the Academy's mosque for prayer. Then it's back to the dining hall for the iftar.
Coming to the school here is really like having Ramadan in any Muslim country, where the students here are all Muslims, and we sort of sit together, talk about it, talk about the experience of Ramadan, and we share the food together. That's what really it's all about, sharing and togetherness, really.
The Ramadan is a very important month for us. There is this feeling of communion, people coming together, eating together, living together. This is a tradition that helps our pupils understand that the month of Ramadan is a month of giving, is a month when we all come together and practice one of the most important principles of Islam, which is fasting.
Whether a child goes to a Muslim or a non-Muslim school, formal education still plays only a small part in their spiritual development. Life at home and at the mosque are also important in helping children reach a stage where they can make their own confession of faith. That first pillar of Islam, La ilaha illallah Muhammadur Rasulullah. There is no God but God, and Muhammad is his messenger. Next week, we will be at the mosque for the breaking of the fast on the final Friday in Ramadan. Until then, Assalamu alaikum, peace be upon you.
رمضان ويا رمضان يا موسم القرآن أقبلت بالبشرى
the next programme